9, attending meeting by Zoom. And I believe Chad's done it. I was gonna do it in the week that we closed, and we can still attend by Zoom if need be. You just can't have according what Chad told me was the Zoom attendance cannot make the quorum. There has to be a quorum present before we do it. So we have the ability to meet on attend remotely.
Yes.
Because Scott has made it happen.
And that would work if you're not at continuing education.
Right.
Because you can't get your hours there while you're attending the meeting here by Zoom.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think we're having problems right now with, we had one incident where, the snow came at the wrong time and everything, but actually we could have met that day. I mean, we could have, the roads weren't so bad, we couldn't meet.
Those don't happen very often.
Yeah.
But if the building is closed to the public, can you have a public meeting?
So, well, I guess what I'm saying, we should have opened the building that day because the roads were good enough to travel. I was up there. I came to work that day and drove around the courthouse and done my duty at the court.
When we had the courthouse closed for COVID, we did have public meetings, yes, we do, on Zoom.
We did. Okay.
So there is that for public attendance.
Okay. All right, as long as it's announced and as long as it's posted.
On the,
Okay.
on the agenda.
I mean, I think at some point in time, we may, when we.
Well, let's go back to number 1. Do we want to meet weekly instead of bi-weekly?
We're gonna be approving bills every week because y'all have to remember the workload it puts on mine and Kenny's office.
Okay.
I have an employee that approves bills, but she also has other duties, and if you put that to weekly, then she's gonna be, that's all I'm gonna have to allow her to do. I will have to have another employee to do her other jobs. Because you go to full every week court, she's gonna be approving bills, that's all she can do. You won't be able to pull her. And my other 2 ladies are like, I can't put him on.
I personally don't think we've got enough business right now to meet every week.
Okay.
Keep it bi-weekly.
All right, very good.
Okay.
Item number 2. Do we want to continue to meet on Wednesday or Tuesday? Because I know at one point you were met on Tuesdays and then it got moved to Wednesday because they needed time to approve.
Yeah. So that's why we moved it. We were having to work on Sunday and Monday
Mhm.
to get payroll ready for Tuesday morning for commissioner's court. Well, then that law changed at some point
Okay.
since then. And now you can ratify the payroll
Ratify.
for the next commissioner's court.
Right.
So even if you want to meet on Tuesday, that's, as far as I'm concerned, I don't have a problem with that, because I'm still going on payroll just like I'm going. I'm gonna run it. Got time sheet coming in Monday by noon,
Mhm.
working on Monday and Tuesday. And I have to have it done Tuesday here because the problem I have, direct deposit has to be done Wednesday, it has to be done 2 days
Mhm.
prior to the payday, which is Friday.
Mhm.
So I still have to have payroll done on Tuesday. So Wednesday I can do my direct deposit, which is 2 days prior to Friday. But I don't have to change any of that. I can go ahead and run payroll like I already do, hold on to it, and which I did the other day when we had the weather.
Mhm.
I went in, that was payroll week. I went in, like he said, Burkle saw me, I was up there Tuesday, working on payroll, Wednesday, well, one of those days, working on payroll, I had to have it done for Friday payday.
Right.
So we didn't have a commissioner's court, so obviously, I put it on the next commissioner's court to get approved.
And ratified.
So that doesn't affect me, I'm still on payroll like I've been doing.
Okay.
I personally like Wednesday because we're off on so many Mondays. That gives us Tuesday to prepare for our court on Wednesday. So I prefer Wednesday.
Well, I guess what's the purpose of Tuesday instead of Wednesday? Yeah.
Most commissioners court do meet on Tuesday.
And I was just trying to see if it worked better in your schedule. If Wednesdays are fine, let's leave it a Wednesday.
If I was gonna move it, I'd move it Thursday. We could post the agenda on Monday and have one week to work on it.
Oh, my
Once a
God.
month.
Yeah.
Well, does anybody else want to move it to Thursday or just keep it at Wednesday?
You mean Tuesday? Yeah.
No.
Not yet, just sit
Yeah,
there.
to Thursday.
No, I seem to, I would if we had to move it, do it on Tuesday to get it done, get it over with.
Okay.
But that's.
Wednesdays will work fine, so
Yeah.
we'll leave it there. All right. Item number 3, add consent agenda. And this is in most of the other counties and other cities I do. The consent agenda comprises those things that you don't normally have much discussion on, such as approving the minutes or approving transfers, approving payment of bills and things like that. And you can put them all in there, or appointments like the ESD appointments, things like that. You can put them all on a consent agenda and vote on them at one time. But before you vote on them, you ask if anybody wants to remove one of those items from the consent agenda, and you do go down and take them out and do it. But the advantage to that is you don't have to do, like we did, the county bills submitted for payment, ratifying county bills, and what else is in here? Anyway, I'd like to go ahead and create a consent agenda. Doesn't mean you can't talk about it. It just means you pull it out if you don't want to leave it in there.
That's fine with me.
Okay. Any other objections? All right. Designate backup presiding officer. That's already designed, set in this courtroom rules, which we will get in just a second. Security, I just asked Danny, because it's also says it's set in here. Who's the security for the commissioner's court when it's in session? And it's basically the sheriff is the department, and he assigns who is security. So we just need, when he's not here, we need to find out, get him to assign somebody so we know who's going to be. I mean, we have the courthouse security people here, but if there's a trial going on somewhere and they're not here, we need to make sure we have somebody covering security.
Are you talking about a bailiff inside the court?
Yes, or available.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's, sometimes we do need a sheriff in here, but.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's already in these rules.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that's taken care of.
all right.
See, we're moving fast. Steve.
We are.
Okay. Okay, courtroom rules. That's what this is. I don't know if y'all have this. This is what has been posted outside. It's the rules of procedure, conduct, and decorum at meetings of the county commissioners court. And this is the one that was done. It's on the bulletin board for 2021. And really and I compared it to what came out in the new county progress. And it's word for word the same, other than what's specific to us. And that is when we meet, which we are going to continue Wednesdays. And I guess the other one is when the agenda items need to be submitted. According to our procedures, as the request must be filed with and approved at least by one member of the commissioner's court and or the county judge by 12 p.m. noon on Thursday, meeting preceding the next regular meeting of the commissioner's court. Do we want to leave that in place? Question 1. Question 2, do we want to enforce it? So
I think she's been posting on Friday.
she's been Friday, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's saying you must submit it,
Yeah.
but I know I've given her a lot of stuff at noon on Friday.
Right.
And I know that,
So do we want to make it Friday or?
well, I would suggest we make it what we're doing. If it's not,
Can I speak on that?
You may.
Just because I was
You
working
bet.
in the office, I can tell you, when I worked in there, we had, the timing was Wednesday, noon, same as the bills. We kind of followed that, everything had to be in by Wednesday. The only exceptions we had is if there was something urgent that came along and
Mhm,
Brandon calls me and says, hey, put this on there, please, and I'm there,
mhm,
I would do it. But I have seen, I've been in there, and it's chaotic,
mhm.
because everybody's throwing stuff at her on Thursday, Friday morning, Friday afternoon. You've got to cut them off. You've got to, whether it's the sheriff's office, whether it's me, you gotta stop that. Because it's out of control.
And she already makes up the books ahead of time, and so everything that's added, she has to go back and make 8 copies and go back into the book and you know, and we're.
It's very important.
And we're.
Okay.
Do I? Yes. She's gonna post it on Friday, so usually we would cut off on Wednesday at noon.
All right.
So it's an exception, and then you're able to work on the book and on the agenda, get it posted, get the books together. Because normally y'all should have your books on the Friday,
Mhm.
so y'all can take them home over the weekend if you wanna look at them, or at least. Like,
Right, let me, before we go any further, let me skip down to number 8. And one of the things that I think that we are not being good stewards of county money is by generating these books of paper to all the commissioners and the others that get them every week when, and then not only do we do that, but then they have to be shredded. So we pay again for that. And what I would like to do is go automated and generally, once we have everything in, generate a PDF that gets sent to each one of the commissioners. And those that need it, and that if need be, if the commissioners need laptops in order to use them here in the meeting, to view the PDF, then we should research going that route. So I guess the question is, what are your thoughts about going to an automated system?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, we could just, you're right, we have to have computers and laptops or whatever, so we could go through the agenda
Okay,
on the, we'd be going through it on the computer.
right.
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
You could do it on the tablet. You wouldn't have to have a computer.
Well, you didn't have that.
Tablet's cheaper.
But
than a computer.
over time, that tablet will pay for.
Well, what I'm thinking that it is that the desktops units that you have will get replaced with laptops.
We've already worked, planning on doing that.
We were, okay.
Well, mine went backwards. I used to have a laptop
Well-
and went to a desktop.
I prefer to look at a bigger screen when I'm working in my office.
Well,
So,
Yeah, it'll be a laptop.
You will have a-
Yeah.
But my understanding is then go for
Yeah, I
it,
don't
figure out the
have- I don't have a
logistics to do
problem.
it.
I'm fine with going the laptop version.
Okay. Okay,
But if we've done it like he's talking about, where we have docking stations, we have one laptop, we use. it
right.
everywhere we go.
And you take it home. You can take it home if you need
Take the
to.
office in town.
Right. You just have to have good internet access. So, okay, everybody good with that?
Yes, sir.
All right, then we will,
Yes, sir.
we'll pursue that and we will save our copier expense. I didn't include that, copier expense and paper expense and whatnot. Okay. And then we've already talked about Zoom attendance, public comments. There is a section in the
Well, wait a minute. We
We gotta
didn't.
go back to what Susan was
Just
saying.
okay,
cut off. I think,
cut off, yeah.
I think whatever's easy, make their lives easier is what we should do.
Okay, well, let's first of all, what is the deadline to get the posting up? Yes, you can.
I think it's gonna be even more critical to have that cut off. If you're gonna go. PDF,
Automatic.
Because it's gonna have to be scanned in.
Right,
If you added something after you scanned in, it's gonna have to go into Adobe insert and
Mhm.
take that time consuming. Even
Right.
though it's not gonna be paper stuff. like, it's
Right.
still-
well, I assume that what will happen, I assume it's probably, well, I'll wait till Keegan comes in. Is that you get the preliminary one, and then the day of, because I get the stack that day at 8:45 to put in my book. Okay, so and I don't know when it got submitted or whatnot, but
Well, I like to get my book back on at least Monday, so that I can.
Right.
Look through it, and I mean, I've been getting it Tuesday at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, see, the objective would be Friday, it would go out Friday.
We can't start, we gotta quit letting her put on stuff on Friday at noon.
Mhm.
We gotta go back to Thursday at noon, and that's a cutoff. No,
Okay,
no, after that, that's it.
what about Thursday at 5?
Well, Thursday at 5, you know, sometimes,
Right.
because there's sometimes commissioners, or you're gonna have something, an emergency that you gotta
Right.
put on. I mean, if everybody else agrees with
I
it.
don't think y'all should do Thursday at 5 for everybody. Put stuff on there.
I think we should do Wednesday at noon, and if anything.
Thursday.
Important comes up,
Thursday, you got to do it Thursday, Brandon.
Yeah, Wednesday's too early.
Wednesday's too
I can
early.
do Thursday then.
Yeah.
Just try to honor what it's supposed to be,
Right.
see how it works.
Right.
Because we actually put it together, we did it Thursday at 5, she's gonna come in the morning.
yeah, all these things on Friday, exactly.
So in conclusion, I believe Keegan can handle it. So, all right, Keegan, what we're talking about is the Commissioners Court agenda book that we're done, and what the deadline should be on when people should submit stuff. Currently in our county court rules, it says that it should be submitted by Thursday at 12 p.m. noon. And then so what we're trying to figure out is we're going to keep the meeting on Wednesday. So what is the technical deadline for when it has to be posted?
It has to be posted by Friday before 5. But that's if TAC doesn't close early, that's if there's some technical errors. So I try to post it early by noon, 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Give me time to fix the errors that I got.
Okay. So I'll just say noon.
How about Wednesday at 5? That would give them all, that would give Keegan all day Thursday. Yeah, that's my opinion.
We can't, I think they're saying you can't do it any earlier than Thursday at noon. So it's what I've been told, so, or what. And we'll see. What would you prefer, Keegan, or what would work best? The other thing that we've already discussed and approved doing is converting it all to a PDF that you will email to us. Yeah. So these books will be obsolete, okay, in that regard. But the question becomes now, what happens if when you get additional things or reports that come in afterward? So I'm assuming that you'll issue a final a second PDF. You know, we got a preliminary one and then a final one. And I don't know at what point that would come. I would hope it would come Tuesday evening or afternoon or something like that. We'd have to kind of fine tune it.
We still have one that's printed out. The file would come.
Yes,
So we would just have one fiscal book and then.
right.
You follow that physically, or you scan that as physically?
I scanned it.
So just the email from.
Yeah, that's fine. But that's on my computer too, that would be fine. Just the only thing is everything that has to be signed. So I'm still gonna have.
Well, we need one copy for when the power's out in the courtroom. We can still meet. Both of you didn't.
Have that. You know, the signature.
Okay, and that's what you're gonna make your PDF off of, so.
Well, Judge, wouldn't that be, you said you had preliminary, then you have the one right before court, you can have another one right after court, that have all the things, signature, that would be the.
Yeah.
Right.
Final is after court.
Mhm, right. So, and again, we'll try to not just try to have one, but I'm pretty sure what's gonna happen is the one that gets distributed on Friday, there's gonna be stuff added to it. And what we don't want to do is to send additional PDFs to supplement the current deal, just redo the whole thing. And so everybody's working off the same one and not trying to
I was looking at one they called the county after the other day, I think they had a thing certified, which commissioners were there for the forum. And then, so that was after court,
Mhm.
one that they posted.
Mm-hmm. So, yes,
Something that we could post if y'all were interested in, we could post that as the minutes.
Well, you've lost me. If your cutoff is Thursday at noon, there should not be anything updated. If it ain't to her Thursday at noon, it ain't going in there.
That's what
Sometimes
somebody
there's contracts and stuff like that.
It ain't going in there. If that's your call.
I'm guilty of waiting and saying, I got this to add.
You know, we are, I am too. So are you saying Thursday at 5? Is that what you're saying the cutoff should be?
It says Thursday noon now.
I know, but are you proposing that we change? it?
No, I'm not proposing it, but what I'm saying is I'm going by how things operate in that even if we get a PDF out on Friday for review, that information is going to be updated between Friday and our Wednesday meeting.
I'm kind of curious on that. What are we updating?
If you post it.
Okay,
What do we update between Friday when we get the book we're supposed to have
okay.
and 5 minutes before the meeting
Well,
starts on
an
Wednesday?
example is a contract that we're waiting on the contract to come in to post with it. We get the agenda item, we got it on the agenda item, but we don't have the contract completed because of some technicality.
Then you would have enough time to review it before quarterly.
If you don't have it Thursday at noon, it shouldn't be on the agenda.
Okay,
We had it in last week.
I mean, that's the whole thing. We make these rules, then I'm really, well, this is different. We're gonna make exception to this rule.
I'm gonna research that.
There's definitely have to be set here.
There'll be after that.
Yes, one,
You could attend the conference.
There's.
but
systems out there.
that's one of my other agenda items is where central administration, number 12 of. Because what I would like to have is something that where you can go in and request something to be on the agenda. And it would automatically number it for us. And anybody can go in and see what's already been requested. So we don't have any duplicates and that we can manage it that way. And I assume, I have heard that there is Commissioner Court software, but I haven't researched it to see
We
what.
looked at some years ago, well, when COVID. Started as part of, there was something that was tied into the camera system.
Mhm.
It's one top county. Where. It actually puts the minutes tied to the video.
I've seen that, yes,
Really, really expensive.
yes.
We looked at that and got a quote for it, but
Mhm.
didn't have it. For it.
Yeah. Okay, but that is something that, again, we'll look at, but I can't give you any details of how that works right now to address the question we have on hand.
Well,
So,
if we keep the noon deadline for turning agenda items, and if you don't post it till Friday afternoon, how about we do this? You have till noon to turn your agenda item in. On Thursday, you have till noon till Friday to attach information to the agenda item. And at noon on Friday, if your additional information isn't in, your agenda item removed.
okay,
Would that work? That way, when it does process through and post and comes to us, everything's complete. Would that work?
How do you know
Okay.
what all is needed for that? agenda?
well, yeah,
Well, if all I got is a sheet of paper with agenda item on it, something's missing.
They should be something for that. You don't just have paper attached to it.
okay, noon on Friday to get supporting documentation in. So, I mean, we can go with this and, okay, and then by the end of the day, Friday, the PDF will be scanned or it will be scanned and distributed.
Yeah, if anyone, someone should
Okay.
post it, we get it.
Chad, maybe that could be something that's added to the request form, that if there's something that needs to be attached, what needs to be attached. So you know what you're waiting on.
That
Okay.
can be done.
All right, I got that down. So, okay,
How long till we get these laptops so we can start doing it?
You already got them in. Get it set up, get it set up.
well,
I think 2 of them are ready. I don't remember which 2.
Let's shoot for the end of March. That'd be good. Let's shoot for that. And if we can start the process of scanning and distributing them right away. And figure out to fine tune it before we actually go cold turkey on it. Okay. Where are we at? Public comment. There was another one, and I don't think we have it. I'm not gonna go through it, but there is the ability to allow the public to comment to the commissioner's court on non-agenda items. But we would have to add that, and I don't know if we want to do one time. So I won't address that. Liaison assignments, which was Virgil, you gave me the sheet and I wrote names on it.
Right.
When that,
Well, I compose that every year and I get it out, but I think there's still some questions on that need to be answered. Whether you're totally over the elected officials or there's a commissioner with you. So
I'm totally against giving you total control or anything like that. This system's built to be other people for all to work together. It's not built for one person to ride. So if you want to be on it with the commissioner, that's up to the rest of the commissioners. But as far as you and only you and then coming to you, I'm not for that. That's not the way county government is designed to work.
So we need to work this out, you know. What's what, I mean. In the past, I've circled this around and circulated this around to all the commissioners, and they've kind of said what they would like to be on. And then I fill it out, and resend it to the commissioners, and they either agree or don't agree, and we work around till everybody's pretty well satisfied as to who's gonna be the liaison to what. So
what is the role of the liaison?
liaison is just for the elected officials and department heads. If they've got a problem, they come with the liaison parties that's assigned to it, to that office. In other words, if for instance, if Heath Burton has a problem, first of all, he's going to come to me and Pratt or me and Brandon, whoever's, we hadn't properly assigned that, but then if there's if something we can't resolve in their problem, then it has to come to the full court. But
So everybody has to.
yeah. So if the liaison personnel, whoever's assigned to an elected official, if they've got a problem, they come to the liaison assignments, whoever that commissioners or judge, whoever that's on that, and we try to work with them to resolve that problem. And if they do have a problem, then the commissioners would certainly, our judge would certainly come to the court with that problem, whatever it might be.
Okay.
I mean, that's what it's always worked, but if that's up to y'all, y'all want to change it.
And it's IT, we work with Commissioner Brad almost daily.
Mhm.
I was gonna ask if he could do IT liaison.
I think he's already on the IT. Yeah. So
Just makes sense.
Yeah.
We're working with
Right.
almost constantly.
that's right. Yeah, it does make sense.
Same thing with the sheriff's office, work with them constantly through that project.
Mhm. Okay,
Well, as far as employees, I think every employee ought to answer to one individual as their supervisor. Because there's been issues in the past, there's may not be right now, where an employee was not doing what they were supposed to do. And there's except when this whole court met, you couldn't address it. because it was things they weren't performing their duty. And people were calling me and people were calling, Kirkpatrick and neither one of us could do anything about it. So I believe ever, not the elected officials, they want to, there's no say so over them, but the employees ought to answer to one person as their supervisor.
What they do,
Yeah,
Most
they
of them
do,
answer their elected official.
yeah.
these are
If
the.
you had an issue with Scott or with our HR person.
Yeah.
That liaison has no,
Well,
discipline or authority to tell them what to do. Right now,
It's not the HR employee, it would be Jessica.
be just,
We would be Jessica's
Yeah.
liaison, it's not Jessica employees liaison.
yeah, we don't have.
and Jessica should have a supervisor.
Well, she does have a supervisor through the liaison, and then if we got a problem, then the full court is a supervisor. The full court is a supervisor.
That's what we should, that's.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Liaisons try to head something off, but if it don't work, then the full court has to hear
I'm not sure how the structure of the government code is on that we can appoint one person as their boss. I think they work for the court. I'm not sure how that works compared to like my employees work at the bar and they directly respond to me.
it. All the
I
employees,
thought you checked on that, Andy, in the
Yes.
county, the county judge, the county judge would be their supervisor.
The question is, who do people report to who don't work for an elected official?
That's right.
That's the question that comes up, and by default, or it's not by default. Unless we specify that they work for the county judge, then they don't work for anybody. They don't have a supervisor.
So right now, the county judge would be over the maintenance budget, everybody working under it, and then the
Right.
court administrator, because those are assigned to the county judge already.
Right. What about HR?
well, HR,
What about,
what happens if we do have a problem with HR? You can't fire them. I mean, you can't do anything. It's got to be the full court that does something to HR.
no, but I could address it beforehand.
Well, that's what the liaison is for.
I think everyone should have 2 liaisons, not just one. That's.
Library, the librarian.
Hmm?
The positions that don't have that are basically they're appointed,
Yeah,
it's the librarian,
yeah, we have the librarian on here.
HR director, acting director, and health.
I think. Collection.
We got collections on here.
But they don't answer to the court, they answer to the county judge.
What are you talking about?
That's specified.
The indigent health, they don't. They answer directly to the county
Well,
judge.
can the county judge fire?
I would say so.
No,
He hired them.
no, we hired them. They came to the court and we hired them. We hired.
We just
every-
got a brand new lady up there. I didn't hire them.
Yeah, we did. We interviewed for the position and we hired them. The court, they came to the court. we hired them.
Missed that one.
I don't,
I didn't vote.
I don't believe the court approved it.
I didn't vote for
I
one.
don't believe that comes through the court. I know we've done the interview.
You did it sometime when I wasn't here.
She was hired,
Should have come.
she was hired in December.
All right, well,
Oh,
just
and
for
here,
example, we're
but
just
I was
gonna get a
told-
maintenance manager, right? Who's gonna hire the maintenance manager?
I would say county judge.
Is it coming to court?
The court.
Approved to that maintenance manager? That-
To hire the last two.
We told him, I mean,
Yeah, the last two building management people.
yeah,
Sorry, I forgot to turn them on.
So.
You know, is that-
I kind of
don't-
object to the fact that the commissioners court is involved in hiring, all employees that are not underneath an elected official. And then I guess. I think we're spending a lot of time micromanaging somebody else. We need to at least be sure to assign who is going to be their supervisor. If it's gonna be the liaison, then we can do that. So. But well, why don't we get this updated?
Oh, it's the difference between having the department head and just a regular employee, like indigent health isn't a department head, is she, or she just,
Yes, she is.
she is a department.
So just gonna have them under.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know if there are any just direct employees that answer to the board that aren't department heads.
No,
I don't know, it's just, and we can change it, but ever since I've been here, we've always interviewed people that want to be a fire marshal or whatever. Some people, either a committee interviewed and then they brought it to the court to approve.
So who does the fire marshal report to?
Well, he's got a liaison. He's got a liaison people. Right now, I don't. Right now, it's LaPrade and Melton.
When I first came over here in 2014, you can remember Scott, the librarian, and you have here, they would have to bring a manual paper time sheet to the county judge if they had vacation, sick, whatever. I don't know if that's still happening or not, but the county judge
Yeah.
approved it.
Yeah, that's true. The county judge approved
He
retention.
approved it. They had to report to you.
Right.
That would be all.
Right.
Well, Casey does, engineer help
Mhm.
and collection, you still do collection.
Liz does.
You do IT. Oh, she did.
No,
Maintenance.
I do the ag department, Elena. Right now. And maintenance, yes,
But eventually, that can transfer over to one of the agents.
yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
that's a perfect example. That when somebody's gonna be off on vacation, somebody should know.
It's not, you still know about county judge when you're not here. You used to have to. Yeah, I was gonna say, I do remember that because I remember you get you send judge for paper, right?
Now they're going to consult on everything.
Well, I mean, that's fine with me, for those officers to report to the judge and he keep up with their time and attendance, because the liaison officers is not gonna do that. If it's commissioners, we're not gonna keep up with their time and attendance.
I think it should go to the county judge, and if there's some kind of controversy, the county judge can bring it back to the court to see if the court agrees with what he's wanting to do. But with the exception of maybe firing, I think the county judge should have full discipline control and everything of those positions.
On the positions that's mentioned.
Yes, sir.
Now,
We've got about five of
All
them.
right, let's see, let's talk about them. Which ones are the,
I've got 7 of them.
okay, name them off.
The library, HR,
Okay,
IT, indigent health, elections, maintenance, and alignment.
What was the last one?
The extension office, the ag extension office.
What about fire marshal?
and the emergency manager,
EMS, you've got the veterans,
Yeah, area.
yeah, veterans. And you got, sorry, just come on.
If you hire a maintenance supervisor, will they start reporting to that supervisor?
Will
What
they start
supervisor?
reporting to who?
The supervisor of the maintenance, the two maintenance.
Yes,
that-
they would report to them.
Yes,
That would make it longer.
Yes,
yes. That's just like, it won't affect, Rusty. Rusty reports to Scott.
so, and we don't have anybody for historical or genealogy that's an employee, you're correct? It just, it comes down to timesheets is what it is. Who's responsible for the
Oh,
time?
okay.
Kinda.
Let's- let's figure out what all you're responsible for in timesheets. Is that,
Yeah, we've got them all.
Well, if you got a department head, they ought to be overseeing their timesheets in their department. shouldn't
That's
they?
correct.
Like IT's got a department head, HR's got a head,
okay?
who else on there? The maintenance guy we hiring will have one.
Their employees report, that's right, their employees report to them, but they need somebody to report to say when they're gonna be.
Well, let's get the liaisons assigned and then we'll go from there. Because I do have something that I can propose and see what you say on it. So, item number 11, employee pictures. I think it's important that when we start hiring people that we get a picture of the employee that we can keep in the file. But I'd also like to get that started for the potential, one is if we ever go to badges for county employees. That way we'd have it on file. I believe the sheriff's department already does badges with pictures, but I think it's a good thing to have for security for the courthouse and other places.
I have one from the sheriff's office.
Do what?
I have one from the sheriff's office.
Do you? Okay. But I just think, one, and also to build, kind of some pride in public relations to the community that we're employees of the county. And especially when we're here and to help with security people.
We've tried that before many years ago, but we couldn't get anybody to take the pictures. So that was a problem. If we get somebody to do the pictures in ID, well, we're good. I don't know whether the sheriff's department will be willing to do that or whether, who else, the probation department, do they have a system?
There's
So we
sheriff's
can,
office put my picture.
well,
Stacy's office. Put it right
that's
there.
fine.
Is
If
that
the
something
sheriff-
we could set up in HR, so when they come in and do their new hire paperwork, they can just get their picture to them?
So I was collecting those.
Huh?
Are you collecting those anymore? Is there something in the system that's not on?
I don't get anything from the sheriff's office.
No, I mean, on onboarding, if they can put a picture.
Oh, no, they do it themselves on the easy workforce.
Yeah.
Employees can all do it themselves. You just want to do your profile and everything.
Okay. Well, if there's no objection, I'd like to pursue that.
No, I mean, that's good. We just need to find somebody to,
Okay, I can do that. Okay, central administration of, we talked about that. The commissioner's court agenda and that, we talked about a software program to see what's available. The concept behind it is that you can submit an agenda request electronically and it would build a database of them. So that anybody can go in anytime and see what's already been requested, what's on there, who requested it, and if there's any follow-up information coming from it. And it may actually work out into our scanning thing too, if it's there. So do y'all have any objection to me reviewing that and trying to find something? Of course, the objection will be, what does it cost? We'll have to look and see.
Now's the time, because we're gonna be heading into budget.
Okay, all right, we'll research that. All right, item number 13 is the weather notification. And again, I learned a lot while I was away in Lubbock and we had this snow thing. About what should I say or what authority do I have when I say that the buildings are closed, but I can't say the employees don't show up to work. Okay, so the question is, the road and bridge, do I just, like I said, was contact your supervisor, elected official for further instructions? Should I just leave it at that? Because there may be situations where the road and bridge people need to be out and, but and the situations where there may be somebody needs to be here at the courthouse for something. So I guess the question is, what is the best way to handle that? It's like, the sheriff's department, they're not closed. They're, the jail and the sheriff's department are always still going. So I guess the question is, does the road and bridge have the same kind of situation? Or should I just make it the announcement flexible enough that just says contact your supervisor?
No, they did close their lobby. The sheriff's office did close their lobby. We had to get in there and set the doors for
Okay,
them. So they did close to the public, even though
Mhm.
they were still operating.
right. But this is, well,
I guess basically you're closing the facility. It's
Right.
up to the department head or elected official to decide what their employees are doing.
I was actually Sheriff Carter to close the lobby.
Yeah. And so, but I was not so much the facilities, but the employees, whether or not they have to report to work or not when it closes. It's
Can I
again,
give an example here, just for what I've done? Of course, we have the recording. That's what I normally do. I call, see if it says we're gonna be closed or not. Just say we were closed those 2 days. Well, that Tuesday, I called my 2 employees and said, you stay home. But I had to be here because payroll had to be done. That's just the way it is. It has to be done. So I come up here, but that was being the department head, I made the call that you girls stay home.
Mhm.
I can do this myself. But I had to do it because it had to be done.
Right.
I don't know if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I
That
am.
was left up to,
I am,
I figured out if we were gonna be closed or not. Once I found that out, then I contacted my 2 employees, so this is what we're gonna do.
Mhm.
You stay home, and I'm
Okay.
gonna come up here and it's my department.
All right.
I'll do it. This has to be.
So my role is just to say whether or not the buildings will be open.
Right.
And then contact your supervisor
That's what
as to whether or not, for further instructions.
I do.
Okay. I just want to make it consistent throughout,
Right.
that the way that we handle it in the future. So,
Road and bridge ain't closed.
Road and bridge ain't closed. My guys worked all of them worked when the courthouse was closed.
mhm. Okay,
Can I say something as an employee? If it's across the board, that's one thing, but if supervisors are saying, like COVID, for instance, a lot of supervisors were letting their employees off, and they would get admin time. But I had to be here because I was shown to be essential, and I had to be here and I was aware through all of that, and other people were not and getting paid, and I had to be here because I was considered something. And it's not fair to some of us employees, and I don't work with a month and a half, but it's really not fair on employees if you have to. You see other that.
well, my concern is the safety of the employees in getting to work. That's why I would close the facility. Okay, so then the corresponding elected official has to decide that, make that same decision for them, their employees. But
I don't think it ought to ever close itself. If you don't think it's safe enough for you to come, don't come.
Yeah.
But that's your time. We should be open.
we'll get to that.
Every day we should be open.
It's not always an option. So, or again, looking at safety and
The public still needs our service, whether it's dangerous out there or not.
But what's your answer gonna be over? the
I'm going to do it exactly like I did it this last time.
Good.
I'm just saying the buildings are closed. Contact your supervisor for further instructions.
Okay.
But see, but my concern is we shouldn't base it on because Canton ISD closed. That Canton ISD don't have nothing to do with us. Canton ISD may be closed, Will Point may be open. So, I mean, you
Well,
can't,
that's, we do it in conjunction with a number of ISDs. If you'll remember on Thursday, Will's Point closed, but Canton had the delayed opening, and that's what we did, delayed opening. So,
That's the same way that Don Kirkpatrick did, Judge Kirkpatrick did, he based it on,
multiple
Multiple
ISDs,
ISDs,
not
yeah.
just Canton.
yeah.
So that's the way I do it, or and that's the way Vicky and I intend to do it. So make that decision.
well, it's like Christie said, it's very unfair because some people have to work and they're gonna come to work. Because we have to be open
Right.
and then it's, so it's very.
So could you run it like a private business? Hey, we're not open today. You don't get paid.
Sure you could.
And
That's for another
who
discussion.
get paid?
That will be another discussion, but not today. I hope so. All right. So that's all on my list. Is there any?
Oh, you didn't go over one of them,
What's that?
the public comment, agenda item only, what did you want to do about that?
Oh, I did want, there is the ability to add the, in our court rules that, someone can come in and make a comment, make comments. You can set up a comment section that's not related to the agenda items. So, and, the issue with that is, you know, the issue that I see is people think they can come up here and talk to the court, and they find out they can't because it's not an agenda item that their particular item of interest is. And so we may want to give them an opportunity to say something, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that, I'd be opposed to that, because you got people coming up here and they will raise a stink about a road or about taxes or whatever. And
They get older friends. to come.
that's right. That's a big deal.
Well, the way the rules specify, you have a limited amount of time for, well, 30 minutes for a comment, public comment. And if you have 30 people show up, then you divide that 30 minutes among all the 30 people. Okay, so everybody's limited, you know, their time is limited based on the number. They have a maximum of 3 minutes, but if more people are in.
I don't believe there's a single item that people want to talk to this court about that they can't do it. I don't believe
Okay.
there's a single item out there.
Right.
Now, there's things they want to talk about that this court has nothing to do with,
Mhm.
and to me, that's a waste of time.
Okay, all right, well, that's kind of, I just want to throw it out there, and make sure that we didn't want to, we had that option and we don't want to take it, so in that regard. Well, are there any others that I missed?
I had a question of clarification on number 3, the consent agenda. What items are going to go on that agenda?
Approving the minutes, approving the bills, ratifying the bills, transfers, budget transfers, and possibly routine appointments to various boards, like ESD boards or things like that, things that we don't normally discuss or, you know, have a discussion on.
Yeah, those type of ones, those design where somebody wants to come up and discuss it, we're doing that public can comment.
Right.
So we'd have to, if they wanted to, they'd have to pull it out.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
put it out and put it on the regular.
right.
Yeah.
The first one you listed, that's just common everyday things we do all the time. It seems simple, but when it comes to the other stuff, like appointments, I don't know, that might need to stay it.
Okay. Well, we can, you know, that would be fine.
It doesn't matter, you can put everything you want to, because if you don't want it on, any member can just bring it down and put it on the regular,
Right.
so, but whatever.
So I'll keep the appointments down, out of the consent agenda for the time being, and then as we see a few, we'll figure out if we're comfortable with putting them back up there. Because again, you can pull them out if you need to discuss them. Okay. Any other items, y'all would like to discuss.
I have a question, Michael.
Yes.
You said that they will be able to submit things for the agenda and such. I can only put it on the agenda if one of you five approve it. How, when you said that, you know, someone will put on the agenda and they didn't do their supporting documentation, then we don't. Who would you give that access to, or would it have to be approved by one of them before it could go that far? How would you put in that extra labor to make sure that one of you five approved it or it made it onto the?
Do what?
Should we submit our agenda items for?
How are we doing it right now? Right now, one of us signs something,
Yeah,
I'll send a request, but one of us sign off.
You know, one of us can sign off on
You just have
it. She
to,
just,
This is all virtual. That's what I was wanting to see the second, that they go in, they pop up and number it. Well,
That would be the commissioners doing that.
it would only.
That is not, yes,
Or you,
commissioners or,
yeah, that's right.
or you or Christie would have that authority to actually add it onto the agenda. So,
Well, we have something we added, we send it, or we send it.
Well, you send it to Keegan, and Keegan normally asks one of us if, who's ever around, is it okay to put it on the agenda, or if,
you can go through
You
the
can go-
liaison if you chose,
Yeah,
or
you
you
can
can
go-
send it direct.
Right.
Well, sometimes, you know, things we have going.
well,
Copy of things.
and he normally puts it on the agenda.
You can do it either way.
you just, do like you just submit an email to your liaison or commissioner to put it on there for.
Well, I'll start doing this, I'll send them Katie a copy.
Yeah, so and she will get the appropriate approval or whatever. We'll work it out, details, once we figure out how we're gonna, how it works. So, okay. Any other? All right.
I have a question on the certificate pay. Do we know when we're gonna have a timeline on that? Sean Davis has reached out to me. Two different things. Number one, he wanted to know what the certificates amounts were. So I sent him that. That was that Melanie gave us the copies of the other day.
Right.
Being told that they correct, that's where I went off on my minutes.
Okay, but that's the only documents I have.
That was-
And I just got an email from Sean where he's wanting to know why he does not get certificate pay.
Cause he.
I don't know.
That's
He's
part-time.
not full-time, I know that. But so, I mean, like, his department qualifies, and yet here he is with zero information. We haven't even got a policy in place yet.
Yeah. And elected officials don't get it, and at this current time,
Well, they don't.
until the new budget,
Like the constables, right,
right?
but
And
yeah,
the-
he's
and the
not a
part-time,
full-time person.
right?
So I don't know, he's saying he's been told he should get it,
Who, Sean's been told he should get.
that's what he's telling me. And we haven't even got anything in place yet, I can't enter anybody's certificate.
Right, I'm working on that.
Yeah.
I,
So right now, it's already stirring up because,
We hadn't seen the policy yet.
and
I,
I emailed him back then, told him that we could not do anything until we had a policy in place and that was being worked on.
right, and I'm generating it. I intended to do it this weekend until I found out that the handout I got from the sheriff's department was in my book, which my book gets taken away from me at the end of each time, so I didn't have it. So I got it. I'm not,
So the one that had it all, broken down, that say the amounts on there, is all along.
We discussed.
I don't,
Because my staff goes to school and they get certificates. When they go to a class and stuff. Not every one of them, you know.
Because that's the difference in that specialized certifications that came up.
right. Yeah, and what I will do a draft policy and I will give it to the sheriff's department with you and with Sandy to review it. We'll have a powwow and make sure we've covered all the bases. But I would just defer when they start asking about it, since the policy is being written.
But I did.
Don't take it any further, so.
and it's law enforcement only right now.
Yeah,
It's-
it's no specialized.
It's
certificate.
no,
Right.
unless you're in law enforcement, you're not getting paid for a certificate right now.
Right.
All right. The
But
meeting,
they will get their specialized certificate paid at $15 for up to 3.
When a policy's out, you'll have all your answers.
Look here.
That's the best we can do, you're right?
So that, we'll look at it. and
All
see
right,
what we're gonna-
meeting is adjourned at 12:05,
Good.
unless I said it was adjourned earlier. And I went over by 5 minutes, and I apologize.
Level 1.
Like,